Guys, Beer Throat here. Welcome to another one of my skill guides. This is a blast furnace smithing guide, and in particular, why the blast furnace is so useful for Ironman. Now, the old school development team has made several updates to the blast furnace to actually make it usable for the old school RuneScape community. So I haven't seen really too many guides on it on YouTube, and really I haven't seen anything for Ironman, so I'll go ahead and make one. Now, what do you need to use a blast furnace? Now, you don't actually need to do any quests, but I think you need a particular smithing level. You can look it up on RS Wiki. It may be 30 smithing, maybe 40 smithing. I'm not sure. Otherwise, they won't let you in the door. I could be wrong. I could be entirely wrong. There could be no smithing requirement. Um, What else do you need? You see, I'm wearing ice gloves here. You don't need them, but they're pretty useful because one, they'll save you time and they'll save you an inventory space because when you collect the bars here, they're going to be hot. You need something to cool them off, either ice gloves or a bucket of water. Now, why is the blast furnace so useful? The blast furnace is the biggest perk about the blast furnace is it cuts the amount of coal used to create a bar in half. So normally for a steel bar you need 1 iron and 2 coal. With the blast furnace you only need 1 coal. So 1 iron and 1 coal. Mithril ore you need 4 coal. The blast furnace cuts it down to 2. Runite ore you need 8 coal. Blast furnace cuts it down to 4. So this really changes the game for smithing and for alching too, because steel plate bodies have always been pretty popular to alch, but everyone would knew if you bought them to alch or made them to alch, you'd technically be losing money. With this cuts the cost of actually making steel bars and therefore making steel plate bodies tremendously, and that's what allows you to actually now profit from buying everything from scratch as Ironman and actually profit from making steel plate bodies. So, uh, another thing that the blast furnace can be used for is iron ore. It automatically gives it 100% purity. So if you put in 28 iron ore, you'll get out 28 iron ore. You don't need a ring of forging or anything. That's a nice little bonus. I actually did that a little while when I first started using the blast furnace. I made some iron darts. Another thing that's very popular for because it's so fast and you can instantly smith everything, people will actually use it to smelt gold ore. Now, as an ironman, there's no way you can make money smelting gold bars. You lose money. The best thing you can do really if you don't have any gems is you can smelt the gold bars and craft gold bracelets, but if we look at the cost of gold ore here, gold ore from this shop costs 225 coins. And if you buy nature runes, the minimum cost of a nature rune from the shop is 180 coins. So that bumps it up to 400, at least 400 coins. Best case scenario, it's going to be more like 430 coins per alch, and you only get around 330 coins from alching a gold bracelet. So you can do this with gold ore, but you're gonna lose money. Now, where you can make money is actually making steel bars and smelting steel bars and making steel plate bodies. So before I dive into that, I'll go ahead and go over a quick overview of actually how to use the furnace. So to use the furnace, when everything's fixed and running here, you need to pay the foreman here. Let's see if I have enough coal. I may be out of coal I've had to remake this video so many times. Nope. So let me get the coal first. You got to pay the foreman 2.5K, and you got to have money in the coffer here. Now, when you pay the foreman 2.5K, that'll get you 10 minutes of use for the furnace. And this coffer here will take out 1K gold every minute you use this. So you can calculate your operational cost by there. The faster you can get bars made, the less you'll spend running the furnace here, basically. Now, I'm an Ironman, and I don't have all the fancy gear yet that a lot of these people do. You see, this person's got full graceful here, and if you got that lightweight gear and stamina potions, all the rest, that'll cut down your operation time tremendously. But I found that I can. I've made batches of 1,000 steel bars and before, and it took me about 30 minutes to smelt a little over 1k steel bars and 150 mithril bars. So it'll probably take you around 20 to 30 minutes to smelt 1k bars. It shouldn't take you any more than 30 minutes. That's really overestimating. But let's go right into it. I'm going to pay him. It's very simple to use. So pay 2.5k. Yes. Okay. I'm going to put 1k coins in the coffer now, just for demonstration purposes. All right. So if you're smelting steel bars, you want to load the coal first, or because if you load the iron first, you'll actually get back iron bars, and you don't want that. So if you want to smelt steel bars, load the coal up first. Then you can bank like I'm doing now, or you can actually, if you keep coins with you, you can actually just buy the ore from this guy. You know, if it's at the price, if it's at an appropriate price, you can just buy the ore from this guy, and that reduces your banking time tremendously, at least for a few trips. And then it'll come out on this bar dispenser here, assuming everything is fixed. If it doesn't come out, check around and look at the pipes. I recommend you carry a hammer because most people actually don't. And a lot of time can be wasted if everyone's waiting around for someone to fix a pipe or to the belt or whatever. Um, and there you go. You can see the coins going down here in the side, on the left-hand corner here, and it's gone. So that was about 1 minute. So 1k gone, and you spend 2.5k for 10 minutes of use. So in the description below, I'm going to include a whole slew of calculations for actual profit gained for making steel plate bodies. All things considered, the cost of the ore, and the cost of iron ore, the cost of coal, and the cost of nature runes, and operations costs. Let's say an operations cost compared if you spent 20 minutes smelting 1k bars or 30 minutes smelting 1k bars. And even if you spend 30 minutes, which you're not going to, you're still going to profit 53.7k. Now, I'm not going to discuss all this, how I calculate all that. It's much easier to read it, so please read the description below and you'll get an exact cost. You'll exactly see how I came to that number for 30 minutes. If you did it in 20 minutes, you would profit 66.2k. So a little bit more than a 10k difference. Yeah, 12.5k difference if you spend 30 minutes opposed to 20 minutes. So you're going to have a huge, you could spend 40 minutes. You could spend 50 minutes and you'd still be profitable. Hell, you could spend an hour. You could double that. And you'd still be profitable. You could spend an hour to smelt 1k steel bars. So, yeah, the operational cost of this is very little. And this has tremendous implications for the old school economy because you've effectively reduced the cost of making steel bars and therefore steel plate bodies. And steel plate bodies can be actually alched at a profit now if if you smelt steel bars this way. Now, I don't know the cost of steel bars in the Grand Exchange, but that's ultimately what's going to determine, I guess, well, yeah, the alching cost of a steel plate body. But I'm guessing the steel bar cost in the Grand Exchange after smithing steel plate bodies, you're going to be losing money smithing the steel plate bodies. But if you make them yourself here at the blast furnace, you're gonna make quite a bit, well, a significant amount of money, at least for an Ironman. Um, Anything else? I've covered gold ore, iron ore, steel bars. You can do mithril and all the rest. Yeah, that's basically how that should cover everything about the blast furnace. Um, And like I said, if you want to stock up on ore, all you got to do is buy them from this guy and hop back and forth. Ironmen have their own um, unique stock, so you don't have to worry about bots buying out the supply unless if they make Ironman bots, which I kind of doubt. Um, and you don't even have to mine the ore. This is such a great mini game. I'm glad Jagex did this. But if people looking at this can kind of see how this is easyscape, it really makes being an Ironman so much easier. But mining your ore, when you're lower level and you don't get the mega drops from bosses, mining the ore and smelting and all the rest takes so much time. So this is really a great way for getting some smithing levels for lunar diplomacy and all the rest. So hopefully I didn't ramble on too much here for you guys. Hopefully I was interesting enough. If I was interesting and this was useful information for you, please leave a like. I've got some guide videos, I've got some bossing videos, all the rest too. So if you want to check those out, hit subscribe. I've got hundreds of videos. Most of them are useless and I do a poor job of commentating. But some of them, there's a few gems in the shit pile. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Um, oh, one more thing. I don't know if I included. You need another thing as an Ironman. You need about 200 to 300k to really get started in this. If you wanted to make batches of 1k steel bars for this method that I gave, so you need 55 magic. You need 48 smithing to make steel plate bodies, and you need about 200 or 300k, all things included. The cost of operating the furnace, the cost of 200 nature runes, the cost of 1k iron ore, and the cost of 1k coal. I think hopefully that roughs out to about 200, 300k. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.